and welcome along to the ProjectCars2 Virtual Racing League, where today we join our Xbox group, continuing with the GT3 Championship. It's round 6 today at Watkins, Glen, famous historic track from the 70s, classic 70s sort of track layout. Some nasty curves waiting for the drivers as well. 3.9 kilometers, 11 turns, using the shorter layout, so it's not the GP layout, so a little bit faster lap times. It's going to be fast and furious action, especially with the field so tightly packed. We had an absolutely fantastic race last time out. It's been a 2-week break since Bathurst, where we had, well, there's complete chaos, to be honest, in some parts of that race. We'll have a little look at the highlight shortly, no doubt. There's a lineup of drivers we've got competing in this championship. Some of them are not present today, I believe, but we've got BTCC Dan back, which is fantastic, from the PS4 League. And we've also got a couple of new guys as well, such as Joe running a Bentley, who joined us at Bathurst. He's joining us again today for this one, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the Bentley, which is crazy fast down the straights. And having a look at the driver standings now, it's really close at the top, and well, pretty much all the way through the field. 3 points separating Subrosa and Scuderia Sam, who were battling away for the win at the last race. Cherryberry hasn't competed in the last couple, but he's still in third. Stuart Davis there in fourth in the Mercedes, Roger the Dodger in the Renault, Alex EDL Christosi, Alex James Brown, Loopy McGee, Crazy Stewpot, Joe Brown shoots straight up to on 8 points there. And in the manufacturer's standings, it's Audi leading the way, although they're going to need Cherryberry back soon, I think, and Crazy Stewpot, because at the moment it's one man holding up the Audi challenge at the moment, so the Scotsman Loopy McGee. Mercedes there closing in on second, Porsche and Ferrari also very close there, 1 point separating those two. Renault, and then there's a bit of a gap back to Lamborghini, McLaren and Bentley. Let's have a little look at the track guide now with Alex. Take it away, Alex.
Thank you, Sam. Down the main straight into the hard braking 90-degree corner. Second or third gear, depends what you want, but in the Bentley it's definitely third. Now up the quite tricky S section, as you see it's quite steep. Blind left-hander now, so you got to keep faith in the car. Close to the barrier on the right, and full throttle now all the way to the little bus stop chicane. So this bit's a great place if you're in the slipstream to try and overtake, but it is tricky. Now harden the brakes, 5th, 4th, 3rd, very quick right and left, and then left and right. Now into the outer loop, so quite a tricky corner. You want to not full throttle, just bring it into the exit of the corner. Full throttle again. So this is the shorter layout of the track. You usually veer off left back there. Now into the last two corners, 3rd gear, another 90-degree, quite tricky. It goes up wide a bit there, but that's okay, still on the curb. And another 90 into the pit straight again and full throttle, and that's a short lap of Watkins Glen.
Fantastic stuff. That Bentley's going to be a bit need to be manhandled, I think, through some of those corners, but she'll be flying along the straight. So let's have a little look at the highlights. Last time out at Bathurst. Yeah, it really was a cracking race. A few drivers got penalties actually for coming into the pit lane outside of the pit windows. You're not allowed to pit in the first 3 laps or the last 3 laps. So those drivers will probably be quite aware of that today. But let's have a look at what happened in qualifying. It's Alex EDL, pole position king once again, starting on pole position in that Mercedes-Benz. Very very tight there with Roger the Dodger in the Renault. Look at the gap there as well. Stuart Davis, top 3, separated by all under a tenth. Incredible. Let's hope the racing is as good as that. Subrosa there, championship leader in 4th, ahead of Chris Doherty. Scuderia Sam, Joe Brown down in 7th in the Bentley. Let's see how he gets away today. He had a terrible start last time out. BTCC Dan returns. Yes, welcome back. BTCC Dan in the Renault there. Looping McGee. And then we've got D-Man and Free Gazelle lining up on the grid, and then away already. A really quick start there. The lights went out. I wasn't even ready, and Alex CDL maintains his advantage down into turn 1 now, and that's Roger the Dodger challenging on the outside of the Renault. It's Chris Doherty as well, battling away Subrosa. Stuart Davis slots into 3rd there as they go up the hill now. So crucial to get a really good run up this hill, because then you got that really long straight that Alex was talking about in the track guide. Fantastic for slipstreaming. Alex here is going to be really under attack because he's got 2 cars there slotted in behind him. He's going to have to go defensive, I think. Oh, and Roger Dodge looks down the inside to take that position away. They're side by side through the really quick bit. And there's Subrosa as well, and I think Roger the Dodger has stolen the lead there on Alex CDL. It's a Mercedes 2-3 at the moment, with Subrosa in the Porsche ahead of Chris Doherty in the Lamborghini. BTCC Dan is up to 6th there in the Renault. Fantastic start. Scuderia Sam, not such a good start there. 2nd in the championship. He's down to 7th though at the moment, ahead of his Ferrari teammate D-Man in the yellow Ferrari. And then it's Joe Brown who had another bad start. Car's going really wide there. It's quite easy to do that in that corner. Subrosa really is under pressure here from the Irishman Chris Doherty in that green Lamborghini. Oh, and that's Scuderia Sam taking advantage of a wild BTCC Dan running wide there. And this is Subrosa now still fending off. He's got the inside line. Chris Doherty's going to try to go around the outside, is he? But he didn't quite make it work. Oh, he's got a great exit out of here though. He's going to really be attacking as they go up the hill now. We'll have to see how that pans out. It's quite single file through this bit, and now Roger the Dodger in the bright yellow Renault is really under pressure once again. So look at this now, slipstream in battle. Roger Dodge had the slipstream effect before, he was advantaged him before, but now it's Alex CDL with the advantage going in behind there, almost like oval racing where you want to be behind with the slipstream. And talking of slipstreaming, here's Joe Brown in the Bentley. Oh, and there's a very wild bit of BTCC Dan driving there, and he's off. Oh, smash into the barrier. BTCC Dan, he's lost it, and he's down to 10th now, and Free Gazelle might be coming past him anytime soon as well. Incredible. And the battle for the lead still rages on, and I'm sorry Alex, I haven't had a chance yet to bring you in. Alex, fantastic start, yeah, wasn't it? Crazy action.
Yeah, brilliant start by everyone. I don't think anyone had a bad start there. There's close battles everywhere, so I'm not surprised you couldn't stop talking. See Chris still over the back of Subrosa's Porsches. Alex is now looking down on Roger, and he's forced the inside. Oh, this side by side going for the S's is going to be tricky to go side by side through there. You've got to be quite brave. Will one of them back out? Subrosa will have the inside. Looks like Alex just backed out, and Roger keeps the lead, but Alex will have the slipstream now. God, it's so close between so many different cars at the moment.
This is very much like the opening laps of Bathurst, the last time we were racing in the GT3 Championship, and there was Alex CDL getting wild. Oh, and he spun and smashed round. Oh dear, he's made a mess now of that Gulf liveried Mercedes, and Scuderia Sam going around the outside there, taking advantage and up onto the curb now, and Alex CDL's going to have to try and fight back from here. That was not what he wanted at all, fighting for the lead there. We've seen a few spins from Alex in this championship, I think it's fair to say, but this is not what he wanted today, and he's going down the inside now, and just Scuderia Sam chops him off there. Nearly had to back out of that, did Alex, and as they resume their fight now, come around the last corner onto the pit straight, and Alex CDL now, he'll be thinking, oh no, not again, I've spun again, I can't believe it. And I was just about to say, it's like almost a carbon copy from the first couple of laps at Bathurst, Alex, wasn't it, when Roger the Dodger and Alex were battling away there.
Yeah, and in that battle as well, Alex spun again. It's almost a tradition for him to spin at this point at every track. It must like to make it difficult for himself. But on board with Chris now, he sees lights are on as the dash is illuminated, and he's fallen back a bit from Subrosa's Porsche, but he'll be getting the slipstream as you see the battling Ferrari and Mercedes in the background. Chris going on the grass bit, that's going to compromise him, which it does as he's hitting every bit of grass he can. So he has losing a bit of places. So you see a little bit at the start. Amazing start from Dan, absolutely nailing the Bentley and flying past Scuderia Sam's Ferrari. He really hooked it up brilliantly, but he is great at starts, to be fair to him. See on board with Subrosa now. falls back a bit from Stu, goes to cover Chris, but Chris didn't have the best start to get in front four. Front four had amazing starts, to be fair, everyone kept position, but Chris had a better first corner, and we might see, is this the spin? Oh no, this would be Roger's overtake on Alex. Used the slipstream perfectly, forces Alex to try and commit to the outside, go side by side, but Alex backs out a bit as Stu gets a bit leery in the background, but holds it nicely. And that was a great pass by Roger.
Incredible. And talking of similarities with the last race, remember Roger Dodge making that unbelievable overtake on Stuart Davis as well, so he's getting used to passing Mercedes on the opening laps for top positions, isn't he? And this is BDCC Dan practicing his drifting skills. Of course, he does hold the world record for most amount of donuts in this corner. Bang! Into the barrier. And in the PS4 league, he did so many donuts at this corner. I think we were getting dizzy just watching it, weren't we? And this is Alex Adriel just going out, and Stuart Davis riding on board there. Just says thank you very much, Mercedes teammate, for giving me that position. He was talking about, actually, wasn't he, away from the track, about maybe team orders coming into play now between the Mercedes teammates. But I don't think he expected Alex Adriel to just crash into the barrier in front of him to give him positions.
I think he might be expecting at this point for Alex, because as I said, he does like to have his crashes, so just gets out of the way, and it's Sam and Alex diving into the pits together, so forms rear end in the Ferrari there. Let's see who's got the best pit team. Is it Mercedes or Ferrari?
Yeah, let's see what happens here. This could get extremely tasty, couldn't it? And I think those two, they're battling away. So we probably thought the same thing, to be honest. Scuderia Sam thought, I'll get out of this one. Alex thought, I'll get out of this one. And they both came in. Oh, and look at this. Ferrari's been held. And that's Alex CDL making the overtake in the pit lane. Scuderia Sam will not like that, will he, in the Ferrari? And Alex CDL must be absolutely laughing inside that cockpit now as Free Gazelle goes past. So these two now are 10th and 11th position. So the two last places as Free Gazelle slots up into 9th there. And oh dear, what will Alex CDL be thinking there? What will Scuderia Sam be thinking?
Alex probably be pointing and waving as he goes past, laughing to himself as Stu be hitting Sam be hitting the steering wheel, trying to get them to release him. But yeah, that's really unlucky there for Sam. But he'll still be in touch and distance, so he'll be trying to get on the back of Alex now, using the slipstream and use him to get back through the field. But that's two early pit stops there for both drivers, so you'll have to see how the tyres are towards the end of the race. And Sabrosa now has reacted to those two going in, and he's pitting now.
Yeah, very, very well spotted. He's certainly reacting, and probably more so to Scuderia Sam, as they are only 3 points separating them in the championship at the moment. It really is, at the moment, those two are looking odds-on favourites, aren't they, for the championship? And he has to cover Scuderia Sam here, and these two haven't been battling, because look at the pace Alex CDL's got. He's absolutely dropped Scuderia Sam's Ferrari for dead on this opening lap. Fantastic opening lap for Alex CDL. Let's see where Sabrosa comes out. He's coming down the end of the pit lane now as Alex CDL thunders down the straight. It's going to be really close here, and the Ferrari's coming into turn 1 as well now, and he's getting up to speed of Sabrosa, and here comes the Mercedes, and he just cuts out in front. Incredible. So Sabrosa is ahead of these two now, and now they're going to be battling as they go up the hill here onto the Slipstream City, as we like to call it, up the back straight here. And let's see who's got the highest top speed. I would have thought the Mercedes here. Let's look at the Mercedes. Fantastic. Absolutely powered its way past and overpowered the Porsche there in a straight line. You really saw the power of that AMG motor there. And Scuderia Sam in the background would be hoping these two start battling a bit. Well, he's got his eyes firmly fixed on Sabrosa now, hasn't he, his championship rival?
Yeah, he'll want Sabrosa to lose as many places as he can. Definitely helps him that Alex got past him, but really shows the momentum Alex had, not having to come out the pits, and just drove past him really on the straight. And now he's on the back of Free Gazelle, so Free Gazelle is Sabrosa's teammate, so will Free Gazelle try and slow him up? Oh, Alex look around the outside, Free Gazelle blocks him off. Now that power of the Mercedes comes into play. You saw how well it did against Sabrosa, who was flashing. Oh, he's having a dive! Oh, he's down the inside, just taps Free Gazelle away. Oh, I know, the teammates are hit now, and Free Gazelle's into the barrier.
Yeah, that did not work out very well, and Free Gazelle will be cursing his teammate for that one. And, I mean, Free Gazelle, unfortunate for him there, he's on the outside, wasn't he? But Sabrosa had no prisoners there, was it? He was coming through, and this is the dive by Alex CDL. Sabrosa was already turning in, and suddenly he found a Mercedes shape in coming past, and there's a little tap there, a little love tap into the barrier. You can see the wheels fully locked up there. He's trying desperately to slow the car down. It was Free Gazelle. Very unfortunate for him there. And Sabrosa will be saying, sorry.
Yeah, and there'll be probably words afterwards in the that team, but we see the Bentley just absolutely clawing space back behind that Lamborghini. It's so powerful, heavier in the corners, and that's where the nimble Lambo can really pull away. But you see, just in that one corner, the Lamborghini's pulled 2-3 cars on the Bentley, but then the Bentley comes back at it on the straight, and they're not that.
You're talking about a very what's the word? Basically, you're talking about a bus when you refer to a Lamborghini as nimble, isn't it? And then you're like a Bentley. Well, I mean, number one, Lamborghinis aren't normally the most nimble of cars, but when compared to a Bentley, it's like a Lotus Elise, isn't it? And of course, they've all got around 500 horsepower, but that Bentley is a rocket ship on the straight. No matter how fast you think a Lamborghini is, that Bentley is really, really fast.
Yeah, it's quite surprising really that something that big can go that fast. It's the same with the Nissan, but sadly no one's racing the Nissan. And you can just see it just closes up in the last bit. Oh, and this is Joe pitting. Ooh, almost messes up there, just hard on the brakes. And that's looks like D-Man pitting as well in the second Ferrari. So two pitting not as early as the others, but they'll be trying to get it out the way and try and come out probably where Scuderi's Sam is, but this is Alex coming around the last corner now, so he in theory should pass him.
Yeah, this will be really interesting as Alex CDL's coming down the straight now. It's going to be quite close though. I think he's going to get past though. Yes, it looks like it. Yes, he is past, and so is Sabrosa and Scuderia Sam. So it's as you were, but I think Joe is an awful lot closer to them than he was before. So he's going to come out just behind the Ferrari, I think. Oh, they're side by side pretty much. The Ferrari's just about ahead. But he's going to be really in trouble now with that Bentley behind and with the slipstream. I think it might only be a matter of time before Joe thunders his way past, if I'm honest. That Ferrari is a well-rounded car, isn't it? But compared to the Bentley, there's nothing on the straight. Look how big the Bentley looks as well. Makes the Ferrari look tiny, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an absolute monster, especially since the Ferrari's a two-seater sports car. Oh, he's wide. I think he reacted to Sam there. Sam made a slight mistake, and he just wanted to get out of the way. He didn't want to cause contact, so that's unlucky for Joe there, but he hasn't lost too much time to Scuderia Sam, but Sam would have lost time to Sabrosa, his championship rival. But Alex seems to have dropped Sabrosa a bit. He's 2 seconds ahead of him now, so this early pit stop might have helped him because no one's pitted up ahead, so he might come out close to BTCC Dan or Chris when they come to pit.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the lead of the race for a while, actually. We're on lap 10 now. I think it's 26 laps, is it, Alex? 26, 28?
I think so. It's 28, I believe it is.
Yeah, so still some way to go before we get to halfway, but the lead the lead battle, let's say, between Roger Dodge and Stuart Davis is boiling over nicely, isn't it? It's just bubbling away, and you think, well, this is going to, at some point, this is going to explode. We've got Stuart Davis chasing down Roger. They've been under a second for a while now, or there or thereabouts, about second. Neither of them have pitted yet, of course, so we have to see where they come out. It's about, 26, 27 seconds in total for pitting. It's quite a long pit lane here, isn't it? So what do you think here, Alex? Are these two, they're not really losing time battling, are they? They're just carrying on going and kind of pushing each other to get good lap times at the moment, so they're not losing any time. So do you think they'll just stay out there for a bit and see how it plays out behind them?
I think they'll probably react to each other, especially as what happened last time in Bathurst. But they still have to be careful of definitely coming out too far, because they're not got the time to Alex or Loopy, so they could come up behind them if especially if Loopy doesn't pit. Which could go to a replay now. Oh, talking of Loopy, here he is going for a spin. Ooh, big damage into the barrier, and that speed CC Dan passed it. That's how Dan gained a place. And looks like Alex is actually catching Loopy McGee up. He's really put some time in then.
Yeah, Loopy McGee with that accident, of course, is not going to help matters much for him, to be honest, because he's looking now maybe at when he pits coming out around well, looking at D-Man really in the yellow Ferrari, aren't we? Down there in 11th, he must be thinking about him, to be honest, at the moment. But Alex CDL, like you're saying, he's on a mission as Alex CDL. 108.1 on the last time round. I think, oh, and down the inside already. Didn't even see that one coming. You don't often see overtakes down in there, do you? Unless someone's made a significant error the time before. And this is Roger the Dodger, the leader. He's in the pit lane. Incredible. The Renault, the yellow Renault now, peeling into the pit box. And we'll have to see where he comes back out, because this could really affect the race if he comes back out in traffic. And we've got a whole train of cars. At some point here, we've got BTCC Dan, Alex CDL, Loopy McGee, Subrosa, Joe Brown, Scuderia Sam, they're all there, lining up, waiting to pass him. BTCC Dan goes through up into third now. Alex CDL coming down into turn 1. Where's Roger the Dodger? Is he going to get out ahead of him? Where is he? Yes, he is. There he is. Going up the hill now. So Roger Dodge has only got BTCC Dan to play with here in terms of between him and Stuart Davis. Of course, Chris Doherty in the Lamborghini up there in second hasn't pitted either yet. There's Scuderia Sam, but Stuart Davis now is going to have a little look at this probably and react to what happens. And Scuderia Sam's got a flappy bumper here, Alex.
Yeah, that's come loose somehow. But what's quite interesting, Roger pit there, and he's only just come out ahead of Alex. So Stu might have to probably react sooner than later on that one. As we might see what happened to Sam as Joe got past. It looks like just coming together and bang into the barrier, and Joe gets away with it. Sam had to stop for a bit, but Joe goes in too hot, leaves the door open. Sam tries, and they just get tangled up. It's unlucky, really.
Yeah, a bit of a racing incident. You can see the speed of that Bentley just coming straight in there. I don't think the Ferrari was even bothering fighting that one. Tried to get it on the exit, didn't quite work that time, so he's lost a lot of time now to Subrosa's championship rival. And it's crazy race here with the two leaders down there in 7th and 8th and 9th. And it shows, Scuderia Sam under investigation there by the stewards as Roger Dodge now lines up BTCC Dan. BTCC Dan, is he going to go defensive? Not
probably
too much.
Not.
The Renault teammates, of course, aren't they? So yeah, he just waves Roger Dodge through there, and the number 2 Renault, yellow Renault there gets underway now. But he's had a poor exit, but I don't think he can expect much of a challenge from BTCC Dan. I think he's just going to wave him through and hold up Alex CDL a little bit for him, probably, isn't he? But the two championship rivals there at the moment, the lead of the championship at the moment, are down there in the lower positions. And it shows you how unpredictable this championship is. So many cars and drivers can compete for top positions, isn't it? It's about who's the most consistent over the whole championship.
Yeah, especially with Sam in 9th and Subrosa getting past Loopy there, who's, I'm not sure if he's pitted yet, but Subrosa gets past him, has taken the scenic route there. That allowed Joe to catch up nicely. But it's quite surprising how, even though the incident at the start, Alex has actually caught Roger up, even though Roger has been no incidents really, just been going along in front of Stu in the lead. So it's quite interesting to see, because it's such a short track, where you actually come out. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where Stu comes out. He could be behind Roger, possibly between the two, and I don't think he'll want Alex to hold him up if he comes up behind him. As you see Roger going past the Audi, the great speed of that Bentley. Probably had to sort of brake a bit earlier because of the weight of the car, but it does it perfectly and he's through.
Yeah, great move there from Joe, straight through on the Audi. Loopy McGee doesn't seem to be enjoying this track much. I know he's been doing a lot of dirt rally recently, and we saw him off in the grass a few times, so I'm not sure if he's mistaken the games a little bit here and getting a bit confused, I don't know. But of course he is fighting his cause there for Audi with no teammates, as Stuart Davis there gets perilously close to the back of that lapped car. I think it was Free Gazelle in the Porsche, wasn't it? So another incident nearly there for Free Gazelle with Stuart Davis's orange machine. That wouldn't have endeared himself to Stuart, as he's battling away for the lead there, is it? And hoping to come out ahead of his rivals.
Yeah, luckily Free Gazelle saw the situation and he got out of the way. As we see, no action between Scuderia Sam and Joe Brown, so that's good. We like to see that, because it looks like just a racing incident anyway. But looks like next person Sam be after is actually Loopy McGee. So has Loopy pitted? I can't remember. As BTC Dan heads into the pits just off camera.
I don't believe Loopy McGee has pitted yet. Could be wrong. I don't think he's pitted yet. I think he's looking to pit and then come out somewhere around D-Man, or probably ahead of Free Gazelle. I think that's where his battle is today, to be honest. Maybe looking at the Ferrari towards the end of the race there of D-Man. But let's see where BTCC Dan comes out. Of course, he knows this track extremely well after the Nissan Challenge, that they ran in the PS4. He is one of 2 drivers competing today who do the Nissan races as well, as he's coming out the pit lane now along with Stuart Davis. Alex Brown, the other PS4 driver, is not with us today in the McLaren, unfortunately. He probably would have gone very well here, but it's no surprise to see Stuart leading the race as BTCC Dan comes out in 10th place, because Stuart was very dominant in that Nissan Challenger on this track, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he won all but one around here, so he's Alex goes a bit wide there. Yeah, he's well accustomed to this track. He's probably done the most laps out of anyone. I think we've been here before in the Xbox group as well, in the Indy cars as well. So some of the drivers will have some experience from that, but nothing compared to Stu, who's lapping quite nicely at the front. But you just have to be careful, because Roger and Alex only 26 seconds behind, so he's going to be really close to where they are.
What's going to be going through Roger and Alex's heads right now? Is it, let's battle away and try and see who's the best driver here now, or is it a long game thinking we're on lap 16, we've got at least another 10 laps to go here, let's just wait and see, you know, when Stuart pits? As talk of the devil, he's pitting now, because they don't want to steal time off each other and then give Stuart Davis an easy win, do they?
No, Alex might want to battle Rog, because he was obviously his Mercedes teammate, and try and help him. But that Rog and that Renault is blisteringly fast, so it's going to be hard for Alex to actually get close enough to overtake him, as he's definitely shown he's behind him. And so Roger almost skirting the wall there. Let's see where they come out. We can't see Stu just yet. He would be just left a shot. Sounds like he's just exited the pit, so they're going to be awfully close to him. Will he be in shot now? Yeah, he's just ahead of him.
Yes, fantastic. An absolutely scintillating in-lap there from Stuart Davis. Managed to get him, keep him the lead, let's say, ahead of his 2 rivals, the Renault there and his Mercedes teammate of Alex. And this is a fight now, straight fight to the end of the race between them. Around 10 laps to go here. And look how close they are. Oh, and Alex CDL's lost it! And the back end's going round again. Incredible. And okay, so now it is a 2-way fight for the lead for the last 10 laps. Because Alex CDL, all the pace that he's got, pole position king and everything, I don't think he's going to make that time back up again now. Because his 2 rivals up front are very quick. And there's a green Lamborghini now bothering his wing mirror. And it's probably the brightest thing out there, that Lamborghini of Chris Doherty. The Irishman now really can smell the Welshman's blood, and he wants it. He's trying to get through on the Gulf livery Mercedes, chasing those who were on board there with the bumper, and he's exiting now the last corner, and he's got a really good run here. 2 very powerful cars, 2 very quick cars in a straight line, around 500 horsepower. And is he going to go for a dive? It would be quite un-Chris Doherty like if he did. He's quite a safe pair of hands, is Chris. Doesn't really go for the lunges, does he, that much? But these 2, of course, have got history, haven't they, Alex? I mean, they've been battling for championships before in the Clios, for example. And what's going to happen here? This is unfortunate for Alex, of course.
Yeah, what Alex might have to consider now is that second spin, which was the carbon copy of the spin in the first couple of laps. It has killed his tyres now, because obviously spinning on the brakes from flat bottom and pitting so early, they will be old tyres. But he went from attacking Rogers to defending from Chris now, so this is going to be quite tricky for him. As BTCC Dan looks like he's catching Free Gazelle up ahead in the Porsche, so this could be another battle prone.
Yeah, BTC Dan currently 11th and last position, and he really is chasing that Porsche Free Gazelle. Free Gazelle, it has to be said, he's had an incident as well. He's having a fantastic race up there in 10th at the moment, and he's odds on for some points today up there in 10th, because obviously it goes from 25 points for the winner down to 1 point for 10th, doesn't it? So, yeah, he's going to be fending off BTC Dan for all he's worth, I'd imagine. He's probably not going to catch D-Man now in the yellow Ferrari. He's having a bit of a lonely race by the looks of it at the moment. And let's see that spin again, Alex. And just the back end breaks away. What's that then? Like mid-steer? Is that getting on the power and lighting up the rear, or is that just the car breaking away?
I think just as
speed.
Just as it cut, it looked like he just hit the grass on the inside now and settled the car in the way she went. But yeah, like you said, fast but inconsistent on the day. But what's great to see is from 7th down to 1st, there's only 10 seconds in it, so it shows how close all the drivers are. Really, it's a great race so far.
It really is fantastic racing, and that's just what we want to see. And to be honest, it's a true reflection of this championship, and any one of these drivers can be up there winning the race, battling for the lead in any one of these races. Of course, different cars, different strengths and weaknesses, like we've said before, with different, across the different races we've gone to so far. But we've had, a few different winners now, haven't we? We've had, what have we had, Alex? Remind me, I can't remember now. We've had Ferrari's won, Porsche's won. No, Mercedes hasn't won yet, has it? I don't think. It's been up there, a few pole positions and whatnot, but...
Yeah, the Mercedes got the most pole positions, with Ferrari the only car to actually have a pole position, surprisingly. But yeah, Sabrossa's had... Ferrari's had 2 wins. I think Sabrossa's had 2. Audi 1 win with at Long Beach. So this could be the first Mercedes win if Stu can keep it all together.
Yes, that's a really good point. And Stu, of course, loves this track, like we've seen in the PS4 races, and he really wants a win. He's desperate for a win, as Stu. He didn't quite have the pace in the end, did he, at Bathurst? But he's got close on a couple of other tracks. He's been driving very consistently as well. Wrong place, wrong time a couple of times as well. But it looks like the stars are aligning for him today. But let's not forget Roger Dodge. He's an absolute fighter. He's a relative newcomer to this league as well. His first championship with us, along with Subrosa as well and Joe Brown as well. They're all relatively new. And he got so close to win Long Beach against Cherryberry, didn't he, in the Audi. He actually got into the lead, I think, in the last lap or two. And Cherryberry just nipped him on the line. And, both of those drivers up front, it would be desperate to win.
Yes, still want to prove something that he can still win a race with all the new guys joining. He hasn't won in a while, and Roger will be wanting to get that first win just to put himself at ease that he can win. So none of them want to finish second. Where's Fregasol gone? That was close for BTC Dan. That'd be a heart and mouth moment. That would be. Both still going, but we don't want to see that driving behind a car.
Yeah, that was certainly twitchy car moment, and probably twitchy something else moment too, going up over that hill there, over the barrier on the outside, that Armco, 70s style Armco there, waiting to catch you out at very high speed as the car goes light over their hill. They got a lot of downforce, these cars, so it is flat out through there. But even so, you don't want to be making any twitchy movements through there, because you can easily end up in the barrier and lose all that lovely straight line speed as well along the next long straight up the hill there. And rising on board now with Roger Dodge in the Renault. He's chasing hard on Stuart Davis. He's got the gap down to about 0.8 of a second now. It's been under a second for a while. And if he wants to challenge for the win, he's got a few more laps to go for it. And at the moment, it looks like he's trying to pressurise Stu and maybe wait for a mistake. But he might have to take matters into his own hands soon and try and be a bit more forceful. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, he'll have to. You can't wait for the car in front to make a mistake. You've got to go for it. And the only issue at the moment is that these two are so close on the pace. There's only a tenth in it that last lap. It's going to be hard for him to make a time up unless he really tries hard. But then you might end up making a mistake like this man here in third. Alex has done on a couple of occasions already, just pushing too hard and losing it. But you see Sam in a lonely 7th. You see the guys in front, but the Ferrari's not quite there around this track. It's a bit slower than the Bentley, obviously, because that Bentley's faster than anything on the straights, but it's not quite its day.
Yeah, we've seen that Ferrari being quite consistent across the tracks. He's taken advantage of some of the other drivers' misfortunes as well at some tracks, but today everyone's absolutely on it, and it seems to be struggling a little bit around here too. So 7th is quite a lowly position for that Ferrari. I think we've seen a 5th quite possibly for Scuderia Sam, but 7th is not going to help his cause against the likes of Subrosa, and also Stuart Davis not too far away in the championship as well, and he's in the race at the moment. But I think the best that Ferrari's going to be hoping for now is that he can somehow muster up maybe a 5th place if Subrosa and Joe come together, or something like that, isn't it? Because I think the top 4 now, they're away by the looks of it. We've got Chris Dodsley there, kind of keep in touch with Alex CDL in 3rd, so that battle's still brewing on. Alex has kept the gap nicely to the front, around 5 or 6 seconds. So yeah, we've got pairs almost now. We've got Stu versus Rog, the battle we're looking at now. Then we've got Alex and Chris, and we've got Subrosa and Joe with Scuderia Sam trying to keep up. And then we've got D-Man a few seconds ahead of Loopy McG, who in turn is a few seconds ahead of BDCC Dan. Free Gazelle looks like he's dropped off the back a little bit now though.
I think that we were talking about mistakes for Rog wanting Stu to make a mistake, and I think Roger's got his wish because he's dropped half a second to Stu now, so he'd be right on his tail. I think it's going through the little bus stop chicane bit. Stu got a bit ragged and Roger took that nice and smoothly as he's showing Stu, I'm still here, I'm going to go for you. It's really closing up now, and really shows how close the top 6 are. A couple of laps ago, they're all in the 107s within a tenth of each other on the lap time, so it's amazing just how consistent everyone can be and just how close the cars can be, even if they are from different manufacturers.
Yeah, it really is impressive, and it's great news for the league as well, because it's got really clean racing going on. Oh, Stuart Davis nearly loses it then, he nearly does an Alex EDL. Maybe that Mercedes is a bit susceptible to that through that corner. The high speed change of direction, of course, that is a really tricky corner, that, maybe even more so in a car with a long wheelbase like the Mercedes. But this has given Roger Dodge a lot of confidence now, and a really good opportunity to try and get past that orange car, and he's going to go for it when he can. And Stuart Davis knows he's in trouble here. He's going to have to place that car fantastically well if he wants to keep hold of the lead here, or Roger Dodge will be through. No mistake about it, he really wants through, does that Renault. And Stu now has to go really defensive. As you can see, the cars flash by on the pit straight. Roger Dodge, is he going to go for the inside? Is he going to do the little switch back? No, he's going to try and let Stuart Davis run a bit wide. He was trying to cover the inside there, a little bit of puff of smoke from the brakes. And this is Subrosa now battling away with the Bentley. And we got Joe Brown looking for the switch back. Going up the hill, that Bentley's going to be so fast up the hill, as Subrosa's going to have his work really cut out here, and he really does not want to tangle with the Ferrari just a little bit back as well, because he doesn't want to lose any points there, of course. Roger Dodge looks like he's lost a bit of ground there to Stewart on the pit straight. I expect him to be a lot closer than that, to be honest. And look, they're absolutely on the limit, those two, aren't they, Alex?
Yeah, honestly feels like Stu's holding up Roger a bit, because I think Roger's got the pace, because Alex and Chris have taken a second out of him that last lap. The gap was 5 seconds, it's done 4, and you can see him in the background closing in, and Roger's all over the back of Stu. So has Stu's tyres gone like it seems Alex's tyres gone, because he's struggling in the bus stop section with the back end sticking out. And what's even worse for Stu now is Roger's teammate BTCC Dan is just ahead.
That's a really good point, actually. VTC Zidane will be definitely wanting to play the team game here, because let's be honest, he hasn't had a chance to play the team game throughout this whole championship because he hasn't been here. This is his first race, isn't it? So Roger Dodge would be thinking, this is timely that my teammate has finally decided to turn up and race with us. And it's really set up nicely for the last couple of laps here for the lead of the race, and also, look, 2x2 battles going all the way through the fields here. This is Subrosa versus Joe. These are two newcomers to the championship as well, of course. Subrosa now 2 race wins under his belt in that Porsche, leading the championship at the moment as well. And Stuart Davis looking a bit leery. We haven't talked about tyres much in this race, Al, but will they all be struggling out there with tyres, especially with that long corner?
Yeah, you can imagine Alex and Scuderia Sam struggling, especially with they pitted so early, so they'll be flat out. Oh, it's Alex as well off the track. I thought Chris had got past him there. But yeah, you can see Roger all over the back of Stu as they're closing in on Dan up ahead. So this will be interesting to see what BCC Dan does, as I'm sure Roger will be on the mic reminding him that he has plenty of reasons to help him out. So I think at least 5 I can think of. So this should be interesting, as Chris is all over the back of that Mercedes now, and so's the Bentley. Oh, he's having to look down the inside. I think Subrosa thought about closing the door, but who's the last of the late breakers there? Oh, it's Subrosa. Great late braking and going around the outside. Didn't go too wide. The Stu's flashing BTC Dan now, so they get out of the way, but I think BTC Dan might ignore him a bit there. Oh, he's almost around. Will he hold it? Yeah, just holds it. Great car control there, but now Roger's going to be all over him like a rash. And same with the Bentley on Subrosa. He's all over the back of him. Subrosa takes that corner a lot better, and now Scuderia Sam's closing him, so he could get in on this battle.
It's absolutely all kicking off here, isn't it, in the last dying minutes of this race now, with the lead still under battle here is unresolved. Who's going to win this race? So Subrosa now defending from the Bentley, and Joe says no, I'm coming through, and they both run wide, and whilst they're both debating it, the Ferrari sneaks through on the inside. Incredible, and amazing, fantastic bit of opportunistic driving there, and those two will be thinking, oh, I can't believe it. What were we doing, battling with each other? And now that red thing's got in front. and they're still battling over it. Joe on the grass there going into turn 1, so Grossa still ahead though. So yeah, after all that, they're as they were, but the Ferrari is now in front up into 5th place on the last lap, and now the battle for the lead is still raging on with Roger Dodge. He's only got another couple of corners left to go now to try and get past that Mercedes. Stuart Davis has put up an excellent defensive drive here despite that Renault, how quick it's been, and it's been agonising for Roger Dodge, won't it? He's just so desperately wants to get past. Talk us through these last couple of corners, Alex.
Yeah, I don't think he's too close for a dive. He could try, but then it might upset Stu if they go get taken out, and that could put Chris to the win, as he's pipped Alex for 3rd now. It's all changed for these last few positions. It's all kicked off these last 2 laps. And all Stu has to do is keep it easy, stay out the barrier, and sees flash the light, weave in, he's well happy, but don't celebrate too early, Stu. But he's got it, he's got his first win in GT3, well done. It's a well-deserved 3rd place for Chris. He's had a few rough races, but he well deserves that as Alex comes from 4th, and quite a surprising 5th for Scudder Sam, and Sabrosa flashed the lights in 6th, just from Joe's Bentley.
I think we can all take a breather now. That was something else, wasn't it? The last couple of laps there was action everywhere he looked, and no wonder the race director got confused at one point, because it was impossible to keep up with that was going on there. And we've seen some of the other finishers now coming around. We got that yellow Ferrari of D-Man and the Irishman coming round, and looking at a replay now. Let's see what happens here. This is lap 27, Stuart Davis versus Roger Dodge, lock of the wheel there. Yeah, that was the big sort of Tokyo Drift moment that Stuart Davis had. And just ahead of him, we got the Tokyo Drift Master, which is BTCC Dan, who decides to do some rallycross whilst that was all kicking off to add to the drama of it all. And you can see Roger Dodge there did a really good job, actually, not to just punt Stewart out, I think. And this is Chris Dodds, he's overtaken on Alex. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Alex getting very leery again. Yeah, it's not like that corner.
No, just got loose, hit the grass again. That set the car loose, just like Stu's, and didn't spin this time, which is good, and just let Chris through. Here we see, yeah, Bentley dives down on the Sabrosa's Porsche. They're on the extra bit of runoff there, and Sam's just sneaks through, and I guess if it's great, it's okay. So they kept on racing, and the Ferrari goes around outside. Sabrosa gives him a little nudge, but Sam's already through, and you can see Joe Brown. This is from the inside. Yeah, Sabrosa left some room there, so we can't argue too much. But I think Joe just outbraked himself there. He's leaning on Sabrosa. And then you'll see in a second, now the Ferrari just comes up nowhere around the outside. Great move. Bit of a tangling between the Porsche and the Ferrari, so Bentley has to hold up a bit. But that was amazing racing.
Certainly was. So you've got to take your chances when they come. And Roger Dodge might think, well, maybe there's a few chances I could have done, could have dealt with there to try and get the win. Only 0.3 of a second on the line there. But fair play, Stuart Davis. He loves this track, as we've seen from the PS4, and he put up a fantastic defensive drive to get his first win, and Mercedes' first win of this championship. And Chris Doherty as well, his first podium of this championship in the Lamborghini. Fantastic to see Chris, the Irishman, back up there in the top 3. Just pipping Alex Idiello, who once again probably might be thinking what could have been. And this is what it does for the championship now. 1 point separating the lead of Sabrosa from Scuderia Sam, with Stuart Davis now only 13-14 points behind. That's really heating up nicely as we've got 4 rounds left to go. Roger Dodge there and Cherry Berry battling their way there for 4th and 5th. Alex CDL extended the lead a little bit now over the rest. Well, actually, Chris Dodgy closed in a bit, I guess you could say. It's 39 points there from Alex Brown, 22. Luke McGee, Crazy Stewpot, Joe Brown, D-Man, Free Gazelle, and BTCC Dan gets a point today as well. So, fantastic stuff. Really enjoyed that one, Alex, and manufacturer standings as well now.
Yeah, Mercedes jumped Audi now, as it was only Luke McGee contested in the Audi. So is the Ferrari as well, with Scuderia Sam and D-Man, so they've jumped them by 1 point, so that's interesting. But it looks like Mercedes are the runaway leaders at this point.
Yeah, fantastic action. And next up, we're at Monza. Fantastic. I mean, to be honest, Monza's always good for racing, isn't it? So what can we expect there?
Plenty of fast action, plenty of slipstreaming, and hopefully plenty of incidents too.
Let's hope so. Join us next time. Don't forget to subscribe.